20-minute video where we're gonna stretch deep into the hips and the hamstrings with a beautiful background. I hope you're gonna enjoy it. Let's get started. And we're gonna begin in Supta Baddha Konasana. So make your way down onto your back. And from here we're gonna bring the soles of the feet together, so in this bound angle shape. The heels as close to the pubic bone as it feels comfortable for you. And you can rest your hands either besides your body with the palms facing up, or you can also place one hand onto your belly, one hand onto your heart. Then you can really feel your breath. Or a third option would be to interlace your elbows above the head. So just grabbing for opposite elbow for a little bit of a shoulder opening. So you just choose whichever version feels best for you right now, and then softly close your eyes and start to fully arrive on your mat. And letting go of anything that might have happened today or yesterday or that might happen tomorrow. So starting to become fully present right here, right now. And the best tool to do that is our breath. So let's start to connect to our breathing. First of all, just noticing, how is your breath moving right now? Is it long or short? Is it deep or shallow? Just observe. And together we're gonna deepen the breath. So exhale wherever you are, and then take a deep inhale in for 3, for 2, for 1. Hold your breath at the top. And then open your mouth and exhale everything out. 2 more like that. Inhaling in for 3, for 2, for 1. Holding the breath at the top. Open your lips, exhale out. And last one, inhaling in for 3, for 2, for 1. Hold your breath. Maybe you can take another sip of air in here. Hold, hold, hold. And open your mouth, exhale. Releasing all the air out. Sealing off your lips. Breathing through the nose only for our full practice. And we're gonna blink the eyes open to get started with some movement. Moving into our bridge pose. So bring your feet flat into the mat, touching your heels with your fingertips. And then start to press into your heels to lift the hips up. Coming into our bridge pose and trying not to stick out the ribs here, but try to keep knitting the ribs together and lifting the pubic bone up so that we have a long line from the pubic bone to the chest. Starting to fire up our glutes a little bit in this pose, keeping the knees parallel, connecting with your breath. Let's stay here for 3 more rounds of breath. Inhaling in, exhaling out. 2 more. Inhale, exhale. Last one. Inhaling in and exhale, slowly lowering your hips all the way back down. And then bring the left ankle now on top of the right thigh, finding this figure 4 shape, and then press into the right heel to lift your hips back up, and then slowly lower the hips and lift them up again. So we'll lower and lift up in this figure 4 shape with the legs. The right glute is really working here. Let's do 5 more. Lift up and lower. 4 more, lifting and lowering. Last 3. Press into your right heel for the last 2. And last 1. Keep the hips lifted and then straighten the left leg all the way up towards the ceiling. So we're in our one-legged bridge pose. Let's do 1 more breath. Inhale And exhale, plant the left foot back down, and then take your right ankle and cross it on top of your left thigh. And we'll start with lifting and lowering the left hip, pressing into the left heel. Left glute is firing up. Lifting and lowering, moving nice and slow. And we have 3 more left. Lifting, lowering, and last 2. Last 1. Lift your hips up and then straighten the right leg all the way up. One-legged bridge pose. Hold it here. Deep breath in. And with the next exhale, bringing the right foot back down, back to our bridge pose, keeping the hips lifted up. Squeeze your glutes. If you like, you can interlace your hands underneath your spine, palms together. So really shimmying the shoulders close together. And we're holding for 3 more rounds of breath. Inhaling in, exhaling out. 2 more, inhale, exhale. And last round of breath here. Full inhale and exhale. Release the grip of your hands and lower your hips down into your mat. Hug your knees into the chest. You can rock from side to side, releasing any tension. And then we're gonna start to rock forwards and backwards along the length of the spine to come all the way up. Sitting up, cross your ankles and come onto all fours, making your way into your tabletop position with knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. And then straighten the right leg back, right toes are in the mat, and just start to shift forwards and backwards, stretching a little bit into the right hamstring, the calf muscle. And now let's lift the right leg up, point the right toes, and start to pulse the leg a little higher and higher. Staying here for the last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open your leg all the way out to the right. We'll move into our half frog pose. I'll just switch to the side so you can see a bit better. We're gonna shift the right knee and the left knee and the right foot apart from each other to find a stretch on the inner thighs. And you can either stay on your palms here, or if you like, you can also lower down onto your forearms and maybe shifting forwards and backwards to increase the stretch on the inner thigh. Trying to keep your breath nice and steady, and make sure that the knee is exactly in one line with the foot. Softening any tension in the inner thighs, in the hips. Really trying to surrender to the stretch here. This is a really nice preparation for the middle splits. So if you are working on your middle splits, this is a really good pose because it focuses a lot on opening these inner thighs. And now let's lift back onto the palms, bringing the left knee back in and circling the right leg all the way back, lowering the right knee down, and we're gonna switch sides. So extend the left leg long behind, coming onto the left toes and starting to shift forwards and backwards, starting to stretch into the left hamstring and the calf muscle. And then lift the left leg up. Point your toes, and we'll start with our little pulses. So pulsing higher and higher for the last 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And open the leg all the way to the left, placing the foot down, and then shimmy the foot away from the right knee, moving into our half frog pose. Don't mind me, I'm just moving around a bit. But we are going to meet in our half frog with the foot in line with the right knee, and either staying on the palms here, shifting forwards and backwards if you want. And if it feels good in your body, you can also lower down onto your forearms. Try not to go too deep too quickly, so giving your body time here to open up and trying to stick with our breath. Especially in deep stretches like this one, the breath is so important to remind the body that everything's okay, we're doing well, and we want to be here to allow the body to go even deeper into the stretch. full inhales and full exhales. Let's come back onto the palms if you were on the forearms and shimmy the knee back in, lifting the left leg up and circling it all the way back, lowering the knee down back to our tabletop position. From here, let's tuck the toes, walk your hands a bit forward and lift your hips up, coming into our first downward facing dog. And right away, starting with some movement here. So bend your knees, move your hips, find any movement you like. If you prefer, you can also, of course, stay in stillness. Me personally, I really like to do my first down dog with some movement to just ease into the pose. And we're gonna meet in stillness in our down dog, taking a full breath in and a full breath out. Let's bring the gaze between the hands and tiptoe our way to the front of the mat. Feet are hip distance apart. You can bend your knees as much as you like. Grab opposite elbows and rock from side to side here, finding our ragdoll and starting to ease into the backs of the legs, letting the upper body hang heavy. And then plant the palms back down and step back into our down dog, lifting the hips up high and lift the right leg up, three-legged dog. Bend the right knee, open your hips and really draw the knee up towards the ceiling. And from here, let's bring the right knee across the body into our pigeon pose, lowering the right shin down. Left leg is extended long behind. Lift onto your fingertips to square off the hips, left hip forward, right hip back, full inhale in, and with the exhale start to slowly fold down, melting your upper body on top of the right shin, bringing the forehead down either onto your palms or into the mat, and surrendering to our sleeping pigeon. If this pose ever gives you any pain or just the slightest discomfort in the right knee, come out of it and do a seated figure four instead, like this. I'll show it to you here, because we never ever want to feel any pain in the knees when we do a yoga pose. The knees are the most sensitive part of our body, or the most sensitive joint of our body. If we ever hurt the knee, it's taking forever to heal. So yeah, we want to make sure it's nice and comfortable. So also remember this for any other yoga class that you do. You can always modify and do a different pose, and the figure four is having the exact same stretch benefits as the sleeping pigeon. Now let's slowly come out of the pose, rolling onto the outer right hip and swinging the left leg in front, straightening that left leg and bringing the right sole of the foot to the inner left thigh, setting up for our Janu Shirshasana. You also have the option to bring the right foot to the hip crease, so that would be like a half lotus pose. With the next inhale, reach your arms up, and exhale, folding over the left leg, stretching deeply into the left hamstring, trying to keep a long spine. And again, no pain in the right knee here. So if the half lotus pose gives you pain in the knee, just bring the foot to the inside of the left thigh without the lotus. And then try to keep your breath. Inhale, exhale. One more breath here, inhaling in, exhale out, slowly start to rise back up, coming out of the pose. And we're gonna bring the right foot back down, cross your ankles, roll over your knees, and return to your downward facing dog, lifting the hips up. And inhale, left leg up, three-legged dog. Bend the left knee, open your hip, draw the left heel to your glute. And then we're gonna bring the left knee across the body, lowering the left shin down into the mat, extending the right leg long behind, setting up for our sleeping pigeon pose. Squaring off the hips as much as possible, so draw the right hip forward, left hip back, come onto your fingertips, inhale. And with the exhale, we're slowly gonna melt all the way down And this side might feel completely different than the other side. Again, always the option here to take the figure 4 instead. Just try to observe how it feels, noticing any sensations in your hip and surrendering to your stretch. And with your next inhale, slowly start to lift back up, coming onto your palms, rolling onto the left outer hip, and swinging the right leg in front, straightening the leg, and then either placing the left foot on the inside of the thigh or bringing it to the right hip crease for our half lotus pose. And with the next inhale, reach your arms up, find length in your spine. Exhale, fold over your right leg, maintaining length in the spine and stretching into our right hamstring now. Softening your face, your jaw. Letting go of any tension, being mindful about how your left knee is doing. Last round of breath here, deep inhale in, and with the exhale start to lift back up, bringing the right foot back down. And from here we're gonna straighten both legs out long in front, remove any fleshy bits from underneath the sit bones, setting up for our Paschimottanasana, forward fold. Lift your arms up, inhale in. And with the exhale, folding over the legs, trying to bring the stomach to the thighs, forehead to your shins. And I want you to quickly take a look. If your pose looks more like this, that your spine is rounded, then no. Let's bend the knees, bring your stomach onto your thighs, hold onto your big toes, and start to shift the heels further away from you while still keeping the stomach on the thighs. And it doesn't matter how much your knees are bent, I want you to find that stomach to thigh connection and just stay wherever you are, breathing deeply into the hamstrings, the spine, trying to soften into the pose. And the more you practice this pose and the more you work on your hamstring flexibility, the easier it will get. I'll also link a class for you up here that is specifically focusing on stretching the hamstrings and creating more space and range of motion. Let's lift back up, cross your ankles. I thank you so much for practicing with me. If you have the time, then continue with another video like the hamstring stretch video. I have one without talking that you can find here. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, so you can always stay up to date with all my new videos. If you like this video, it would mean a lot to me if you could give it a thumbs up. I send you lots of love to wherever you are and hope I'll see you around. Bye bye.